Right here, and welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel. What I have here for you today is the Kershaw Amplitude. So the deal is, I was walking around Walmart and I was looking for something interesting to review, and I haven't done a knife review for quite a while. So I'm trying to look through the glass. The glass is all scratched up on top. They really need to replace the glass counter for the knife display in my Walmart badly. So anyway, I digress. Trying to look down there and I see something new and it looks kind of interesting. It has a frame lock and it's really nice and solid. It looks beefy, so I'm like, hey, that looks pretty good. It's only 25 bucks at Walmart, which, by the way, I put a link in the description box below for Walmart, as well as Amazon. However, it's selling a little more in Amazon, plus the one in Amazon is the BlackWash edition. This is the bead blasted all silver edition that Walmart had. So anyway, I thought it was pretty interesting. It looked like a flipper. You can see it has a flipper there. Really solid frame lock. From back here, it looks like a Hart design without the little retention thing to keep you from overextending the frame lock. I forgot what they call that thing, but you know, it sort of looked like that from afar. And I picked it up, looking at it. It's like, it's solid. Looks like something good to review. And woof! Has Kershaw's SpeedSafe, which is their assisted opening technology, because they want to give you a fancy word for it. As far as being safe, I don't know. There's no safety or anything on this thing. It just takes a low pressure on that flipper and it's fast. Speed is true. Safe, I don't know. Anyway, you can see it sort of has a blade shape sort of close to the leak, so it's sort of like a Hart design handle with a leak type of blade. And I'm trying to remember who designed the leak. Ken Onion, yeah, did the leak. So sort of like two different designs. However, the leak, the drop point is more. It drops more, and the edge side is more flat. So not exactly the same, but that's what it reminded me of. Anyway, just wanted to let you know how I sort of got to this point. So let's go ahead and give this a review and take a close look. So here's sort of a closer look at it. I'll let you take a look at the other side. And again, you don't have the extension retention thing to keep you from overextending the frame. But I'll tell you what, you're not going to worry about it. This thing is so hard to push over. That might be the first con. This thing is stiff. Look at that. There, my finger. So it's hard to push over. So if you have a weak finger and you purchase this, you might return it, or you better do some thumb aerobics or exercise, because it's going to take a while for that to break in, and it's tough. But it is a nice looking knife. Now, one of the other things that drew me to this knife, let me go ahead and close this before I cut myself, is the deep conceal clip. You can see it comes all the way up, and it looks like you can turn it around to the other side if you're carrying it on the left pocket or the left side. So you have that option, reversible clip, but it is deep conceal. So you put it in your pocket, it's only going to stick out by just that little bit right there. So if that's what you're looking for. However, the clip is a little weak. So if you're going to tumble around and do somersaults and stuff like that, you might lose it. So be careful. It's not extremely strong. But if you like your knives hanging loose, this is good. It'll come out nice and easy. You can see it has nice pillows right there. It has an open pillow design. Dirt will flow through, and it's sort of a nice shiny pillow with a blue accent in there. Really nice. Solid frame lock. It's very nice. Now it is a bead blast finish, which is the least desirable in my book, because that creates more surface area, which means it'll be more surface that could possibly rust if it's not good steel. Which, by the way, I can't talk today. By the way, this is 410 for the handle, and we'll get to the blade in a moment. But also the bad thing about this particular finish, and you'll see it in some of the reviews, is it scratches very, very easy. If you put it down on a hard surface and move it around a little bit, you're gonna see scratches in this kind of finish with this kind of steel. Guarantee. As a matter of fact, if you look kind of close, you could probably start seeing a little bit there. Now, this right here, your pivot screw, it is a normal screw right there. Looks like a Torx of some sort. So even though this might look like some sort of proprietary thing going on, it's just an accent, just something looking pretty right there, and it has a normal Torx if you need to adjust the pivot screw. Be careful, don't let that come all the way out, because then you're gonna have that SpeedSafe spring in there to deal with, and everything will pop apart and make your life difficult. So I don't recommend you take it apart unless things are going terribly wrong. Is there anything else that I didn't cover on the outside? I don't think so. Looks good, by the way. That's a Torx there too if you decide to reverse the clip. So let's go ahead and launch this guy, or girl if yours is female. Look at that. It is fast. Definitely, there's the speed in the SpeedSafe. Very fast. And you can see there's a little bit of jimping right up here. It's barely functional. It's more aesthetic than anything else. You can see my thumb just sort of slides. Oh, we have some information here on the blade. Let me bring that up to you so you can take a close look. There's the model number 3871. It's patented. It is a Rexford Design. I scoured the internet trying to find a picture of Rexford, and I did finally find it. It was there was only one picture of them, so there you go. Now the other things you can see here is that the blade steel is 8CR13 MOV, which is a mill-to-ground Chinese stainless steel, sort of comparable to 440B. So, or AS8, but it's Chinese. So just so you're aware, and of course this is made in China at this price point. No surprise there. Take a look at the lockup here while we're looking. You can see there's a little bit of jimping right there on the bottom, and lockup is, it looks like it's halfway, a little more than half behind the blade, so pretty safe. Doesn't feel like it's going to lock or open on you. And again, it's very, very stiff, very hard to get that pushed over, as you can see there. It doesn't take much for this thing to launch. Right about there. So and there is no safety, there's no button, so it doesn't take much to launch this guy. Full plain edge, full hollow grinds, just starts from the top and curves inward. Hollow grind, drop point, bead blasted finish. So just like the handle, you have that bead blast. So what's going to happen is, as you use this, you're going to see scratches. So if you're somebody who is anal attentive or obsessive compulsive or whatever, or just want to keep your knives looking good, this one is not going to stay looking good with this kind of finish. And I highly recommend that you use some sort of oil on this blade, because again, bead blast is susceptible more than any other finish practically to corrosion and rust. And this is 8CR13 MOV, which has good but not awesome you know, rust resistance, corrosion resistance. Now the other thing is, as far as safety is concerned, your hand's not going to slide. What happens is that flipper that you push on here ends up coming down on the other side and creates a little bit of a hand guard. So even though there's no texture to this, there's no traction at all, it does help your hand from sliding when stabbing, because this definitely is a good stabber. You could tell by the shape of that blade, it's definitely a good stabber. So it's good that they give you a little bit there with a little bit of nearly functional JPEG right there. This is going to be a long review for someone who's not saying much. As far as grip, feels comfortable. It feels good. Regular grip like that. Reverse, you you know, there's a little bit of curve back here, so your finger can sort of lay there. Feels good. I have medium to large hands, so that'll give you an idea of the size. Speaking of size, the blade is 3¼ inches, and open length is 7¼ inches, and closed length, again, it's hard to get that close, is 4.1 inches. And if you need metric, it's down there in the description. Weight is 4.3 ounces, so it has a little bit of weight too. So keep that in mind. If you're standing on your head, this is in your pocket, this does weigh a little bit, and that clip is a little on the weak side, so you may lose it. So there's your warning. Boy, I haven't done this much yakking on a knife review for a long time. So, real quick, I put the paper here because we're going to do a cut test. There's your blade centering. Looks almost exactly centered. Usually when you have these assisted openers, it's almost impossible to find one that the blade is perfectly centered, but you can see it's just a teeny bit over in that direction. And blade retention is scary. You know, I mean, it doesn't feel like it's gonna come out, but it doesn't take much before it launches. And doing something like this, it could easily take off and cut your hand when you're so make sure your hand is very clear. I would say this is one of the more dangerous knives. Just again, another warning right there, but if that's what you like, then this is the knife for you. No up and down play, no side to side play, and again, lockup is pretty solid. I don't think we have anything to worry about there. As far as sharpness out of the box, actually, so let's try a more slicing motion. One of the more duller Kershaws out of the box. I mean, it will cut paper, but I could feel it dragging on the paper. I could definitely, and it won't push cut. I'm having to use slicing motions. It will not, like, let me start this. Terrible. Now let me try to push, and it will not push cut. So not very sharp, but it, you know, I do this little deal too, and it is catching my finger now. Let's see if, let me see if I could shave. See, it pays to be a hairy guy sometimes. And, you know, it is taking some hair off. So, maybe it's that kind of sharp that just doesn't cut paper very well, but shaves good. You know, there are different kinds of sharp. You have a polished micro edge, or you could have a type of edge that has micro serrations. And sometimes if you have those micro serrations, it might have difficulty push cutting through paper, but it can slice through paper because, you know, I don't know, but you saw what it did, and it feels sharp to me, and it's shaved. The last thing I do is something that I do not recommend. But I want to just make sure there's no fundamental heat treatment issues with this, so I'm just going to slightly, not hard, but just give it a little slab and a little shake in some soft pine and see if the tip breaks easy. See, it's nothing too deep. There we go. Let's make sure the tip did alright. Again, this is knife abuse, so for those of you offended, I apologize. But did fine. Can it, I wonder if we can make a little bit of Kinder, do a little of that there. If you want to start a fire, make a feather stick, that's the term I'm looking for. So it does the feather stick pretty good. And let's take a look at the edge. Again, and actually the finish held up pretty good there. One other thing, since I bought this at Walmart, it came in this box with that number on there. You know what Walmart does. And by the way, there are other sizes of the Amplitude, but again, this is the one with the 3¼ inch blade right there. But It came wrapped up in that plastic, and they also gave some literature in here, which is in there pretty good. Come on, there we go. So what did they give us? Gave us some important information, and they gave some instructions on how to care and all that good stuff. And see, that's what I was talking about, that some of the indoor designs, they'll put that right there to keep you from overextending the frame lock. But again, that's usually on more expensive knives. And with this one, I don't think you have to worry about it because it is so hard to push that out that I don't think you're going to have anything to worry about. Alrighty then, it's time to wrap things up. So, we need to answer, do I recommend this knife? Yes, I recommend this knife with caution. With a lot of caution. With a grain of caution. Because this is a assisted opener that flies open easily and fast, and it does not have a safety. So if you are a bull in a china shop or a bull in a china shop and these things will fly open, you know, you're clumsy, you're gonna cut yourself. You better be careful. And if you have no finger strength, you're gonna definitely have a hard time pushing that frame lock out of the way so you can fold it. So just be aware. Be aware. Alright, I apologize for the extremely long video. I didn't mean to do it. This should have been a 10-minute video. However, I feel like I owe my viewers, since I haven't done a video for a long time, so I kind of feel bad, especially the folks that watch my videos to go to sleep. Yes, people watch my videos to go to sleep because I sometimes have a calming, soothing voice, although people who know me would say, that's not Fred. But with you, I have a nice, calm sleep. Alright, well, thank you very much for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel. I really do appreciate every Fred viewer, subscriber, and especially you. And I hope you have a great day or evening. Take care.